Good evening, Zimbabwe. This is your youth show, The Connection, coming to you live from the Voice of America on Tuesday, July 28th, 2015. I am Tungamili Nkomo.
And I'm Tatenda Gumbo.
Tonight, we are focusing on young Zimbabwean writers in light of the ongoing Zimbabwe International Book Fair.
So everyone, let's get connected on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag #TheConnection. Our Facebook page is Studio7VOA and our Twitter handles at Studio7VOA. We can also get things going on our WhatsApp, and that number is 001-202-465-0318. And
to contribute live on air, you can call us at the following number, 001-202-619-2077. That number again, 001-202-619-2077. And we'll call you back.
And of course, as usual, 24 hours a day, we're streaming on the internet, but you can catch us live right now at www.voazimbabwe.com, voashona.com, or on voandebele.com.
Again, this is your number one youth show, The Connection, coming to you live from the Voice of America in Washington.
The Zimbabwe International Book Fair entered its second day with authors, publishers, and booksellers gathering at Harare Gardens to explore ways of promoting the reading culture in Zimbabwe, as well as creating synergies to publishing, marketing books, and opening up to emerging technologies. And among those attendees are young Zimbabweans representing up-and-coming and as well as established writers, authors, poets, playwrights, and many more looking to make their stamp on not only Zimbabwean but also African literature.
These youngsters stand on the big and belly shoulders of great Zimbabwean writers like Chenjerai Hove, Dambudzo Marechera, Tsitsi Dangarembwa, Charles Mungoshi, Dabezinhle Sigogo, Isaac Mpofu, Reverend Dabaning Stole, Patisa Nyati, and many, many more. Young authors like No Violet Bulawayo, Danai Gurira, and of course our star-studded lineup today continue to blaze the trail and taking literature to a whole new level. So tonight we focus on the past, present, and future of Zimbabwean literature.
Tungenda, very excited to find out what our representatives who'll be joining us have been doing, and I hope they can give us some free books, right?
Indeed, indeed. Kwazwa vatereri tiri kusangana muchirongwa cheve chidiki chirongwa chenyu The Connection. Nasi tiri kutarisa mabasa evanyori vemabhuku. Zvikuru sei tichitarisa kuti svondo rino this week inonzi Zimbabwe International Book Fair. Vanyori vari kupromota mabhuku avo ku Harare ku Book Fair iyi. Saka nhasi tine vanyori muno muchirongwa che The Connection vatichange tichitaura navo. Lichona njani makaya siyalamukela kuhlelo The Connection, uhlelo lwasakhulayo. Lamhlanje sixoxa labalobi bengwalo khonapha ku The Connection ku Studio 7. Sikhangela ikakhulu kubana kuliviki kulombukiso wamabhuku, umbukiso wengwalo eHarare owe Zimbabwe International Book Fair. Ngalokho silabalobi silabo kuhlelo lamhlanje, and Ms. T, let's cut to the chase.
Yes, and I think Ntunga, two of our stars, our Zimbabwean stars, are already joining us on the program. That is Davison Mudzingwa, who's an author and journalist. Davison, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you.
And of course, the public should know by
disclaimer.
Now that, Davison is my personal friend. From college, a journalist, a filmmaker. The guy is literally all over the place.
Yes.
And whatever he touches, it turns golden.
As
and, right now he has quite a few poems And, he will tell his story. I'm not going to tell his story, but some of his poems are appearing in a set book. Is it A-level or O-level? He will, tell us.
It's like I'm not going to tell you, Davis, and I'll go check and send it to my house because... Yes, because I know. I know. Thanks for joining us. And we also have our other guest on the line, of course, wonderful in her own right. That is Noma Lady Chawe Damasane, who's joining us on the line. She is a poet, writer, musician, playwright. I think, like Davis, and she has a lot on her plate. Noma, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, Devi, you go first. Tell us about your works.
My work, that's a broad question, but I'll try by all means to be brief and try to make sense to everyone who is listening. Basically, I was privileged to grow up in a very normal family. When I say normal family, I mean the ordinary people. I grew up as an ordinary person. So the way I grew up and my lived experiences helped me to write. And this shapes the kind of themes that I cover in my writings. And these are taken for granted issues or issues that affect ordinary people. I try to give as much life and dignity to the ordinary people through the kind of work that I do, because I don't have to think about it. I write from the heart, and I also write from the lived experiences of this kind of situation. So realize that because of my growing, as I said, we grew up poor. You find a lot of poverty issues there. I was brought up by a single mother. You find a lot of gender issues or the gender theme in a lot of work that I do, that is prose and also poetry.
Mm-hmm. And give us a sense of, some of your prominent works. You told me that you have poems that will be, or that are featuring in a set book. Which are those? And, which set book is that?
Okay. My first work first appeared in an anthology as well. It was called Silent Drums. It was a great hybrid of genres, that is from poetry and also short stories. And then the second one, which was recently selected to be an A-level set book, that is in poetry, from next year, it's called Zinonyandura. It's an amazing collection of poems from different poets that speak out on different themes, and these include Rabson Shumba, Sharon Ngoman, an amazing young woman, Konat Macheka, Rodwe Harnangoni, Rutendo Tapiwa, Braton Mponda, Brian Tafado Penny, Tinashe Mchuri, who also edited this anthology. Tinashe Chimuriwo, Chenjera Mazambani, Proceed Manata, Mildred Jarita, edited by myself. So from this set book, you find a lot of themes that are covered by different authors, but also all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different experiences. So we're all enthralled when the ZimSec gave us a vote of confidence by selecting this book as part of the set book that will be studied by our children for studying A-level Shona from next year.
Mm-hmm. Thank you there, Davison. Just hold on the line. And now coming to you, Noma, you and your own right, as we said earlier, you are a writer, poet, and musician. Let us know what you've been doing, what you have out there, and, how you got started doing this.
I grew up in a family that enjoyed the arts, that lived for the arts, basically. Many people may know my father, Reverend Damasane, and he's a poet in his own right, so I kind of followed his footsteps. But he also sang. My aunts and uncles, his brothers and sisters, also did the same thing. So I grew up literally already embracing the arts as a whole. I remember starting to write when I was in high school. My very first poem was written when I was in high school. I was in Form 2. And since then, I never stopped writing. Even when I went to varsity, I studied drama and music, and I continued to write. And I published my first book in 2010 called through the eye of poetry here in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. And I've been doing a whole lot of things. Like, I like to do collabs within my own work, within my own skills, and that is fusing my poetry with my music and fusing it with dance and drama. And so that's what I've been doing. And yeah, last year I published another book called Inscriptions of an Inspired Soul. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I can say about my work thus far.
Okay, thank you, Noma. Please do stay on the line. We have our third guest, Misty. Who is it?
That is Njabulo Moyo, who is a writer. He's a poet, and he's also the volunteer director of the African Writers Association Zimbabwe chapter. Njabulo, thank you for joining us on The Connection this evening.
Yeah, I'm welcome.
Thank you. And I know we spoke or featured you. We've spoken to you before, and you're known as Dr. Sketches, as you told me previously. Tell us more about your work and, how you got to be known as Dr. Sketches, quote unquote.
Well, I would say the Sketches part is largely derived from the title of my first poetry collection, which is called African Sketches. So generally, we define the word sketches in different ways. Some people will say that these are pigments. Some people think when you say sketches, you're referring to artwork and so forth. So because, the title African Sketches is so relevant to many predicaments. When you talk of Africa, there's a lot of sketches. Not only in the context of things that are drawn, but there's a lot of incomplete things in Africa. There's a lot that needs to be done in order to bring back the economy to its feet. So I believe that I sketch, I get the mindset of the people, I get people thinking about solutions for Africa. That is the doctor part.
And, you're also a motivational writer. I know your third book is also that. Can you just quickly let us know about that book?
But that book is entitled Motivating the Inner Soul. I believe that motivation is a calling. It is about reviving the inner person in order to inform actually man. In the book Motivating the Inner Soul, I actually come up with my own, the content of motivational professions. So in that book, I try to reach out to the inner man, it is spiritual. I reach out to the spiritual being in every one of us, so that the spiritual being can connect to the outer man, and then we see that self-motivation. Beyond motivation, I believe that writing about motivation is not just really.
That's a bad line there. And Njabulo, I think we'll have to drop your line and call you back. In the meantime, we will cross over to Devson Mzingwa in Johannesburg. Diva, we know kuti netembo zakawanda. Mbotipa, your favorite.
Joseph ndofarira asi pari zvinezvi ndichangonyukura kamwe kana kanyora kari mubhukiro rirange richipinda mugore rinouya pavana vachadzidza rurimi rweshona. Bhuku rinonzi dzinonyandura ndo zita rebhuku racho. Ndachida kuverenga dzose asi ndichaverenga iri kuinda ridingitira riri kunetsa pari zvino. Riri kunetsa nyaya dzemvura idzi, nyaya dziri kunetsa mukati menyika. Ditembo rinonzi tatozvijaira. Tinotanga tichiti isusu zvanana zvodengezera zvigubhu nemigomo, tande kunanga mabvazuva, kudzoka ipachu-pachu, petu-petu, kundotendeka mvura, hationi mfukubodo, kuchibhorani mupisi une mvura inovava, kuvava sowakarungwe munyu wemabwe, kuvawa kwacho yava nhapitapi, hapana zvekushara apa, ndiyo yoga yekumwa iyoyo. Hakuchina imwezve, hakuchina kumwezve kwainowanikwa. Hapachinazve mumwe angakubatsire. Mumba zvigubhu zvokukwidzana nenzvimbo nenhumbi. Zvigubhu kurunda madziro emba semudungwe. munungwe murefu kudarika wemukonobera wa 1992 ruvara isharura ude vana mumba vodzidza kudoma ruvara pazvigubhu icho chitsvukuka baba mwanangu icho chitemaka baba hongu mwanangu icho chichanaka baba mhani washaya wazokuitas ndiye tono mwana tono sepombi pombi dzaoma sedzakambosisa mvura vakazvarwa makore mashoma apfuura havatozivi kuti basa repombi nherei havasati vamboona dzichishanda vakayaruka vanoziva vakambodzishandisa yakatanga ichapfachukira mashafamu ekutodiridzira muriwo wechemberedza gumhana kudiridza muriwo kusvika wabitiridzwa nemagohwe matatya kuita seacharira mubindu yakazoti yauya ngwavaira pombi ndokutanga kunyima mvura kutanga yauya iri nhete mangwana yava ekuguchingidzira gare gare rava domwe do samanzuma isingadi kukamwa pedze zvikanzi inouya yakawanda rungwanangwana wandambi zvigubhu zvoita makwikwi papombi gare gare hakuchina papata kutanga uchagumbuka ogumbukirani kanzuru munhu hurumende unotendeka ani iye anonzi hurumende unodana ani anodavira zita rinonzi hurumende kwaoma kuno tazvijaira kugeza muviri nemuvharo wepoto tazvijaira kumwa mvura takatsinzinya tatozvijaira isu tatenda.
Thank you.
That's my guy right there. Thanks so much, Diva. Very dramatic, right?
I enjoyed it so much, you know.
Okay, please do stay on the line, Diva. Norma, akusiphe until ulenkondlo akusiphe yodwa emfitshane.
Okay, unfortunately mine is not in Ndebele because I ran away from doing poetry like my dad. So I usually do it in English or in
go
English
ahead
or
and
French
give it to us.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, it's just a snippet. His love makes me feel beautiful, from the depths of my soul to the brown skin that I wear. No day or hour goes by without me thinking, reflecting or musing over this man's love. His eyes define an innocence that can only be supported by the purity of his heart. He is my love defined, my scent in the rose. He is my love, my flower, my heartbeat, the blood in my veins. He is my love.
Hey, Norma usethandweni.
Norma, I wish you could see Ntunga now. The blushing is unbelievable.
I dedicate that one to you.
Oh, my Ntunga.
Thank you so much, Norma. That's so beautiful.
Very, very.
Yeah, and we are still trying to get Njabulo Moyo.
Get him back on the line.
But,
yes.
We're having difficulties. We also were intending to talk to a Kalanga poet. Oh, I love poetry.
Yes.
Ntando Dumani. He's in South Africa. We're also having connection issues. But Ntando released 2 books recently. Awe Kalanga, mabuku Kalanga. Also, he has a poem that he recorded that we will be bringing to you shortly. And that's Ntando Dumani. Please be on standby for that Kalanga poem by Ntando Dumani.
Yeah, very excited to give that a listen, Tunga. But let's go to Davison and just find out from you, looking at, the emerging, literary world. Can you talk about the issues of publishing, of, getting your books out there, things like that? How does that really work, if you can explain to our audience, so for someone who might be interested?
And also the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Diva. Hello, Diva.
Maybe Tongo Vunza. Okay, I maybe.
Devson, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
There he is.
Okay. Yeah, we were saying that given this technology revolution, in terms of information dissemination that we are experiencing, tell us how is that working for you as a writer, and also what are the challenges that you are facing along the way?
What's more crucial or what's important about the current technological advancement is that it makes the world smaller and also connect with people that you wouldn't have connected with if there was no technology. A very immediate example is this book that is going to be in the A-level syllabus, Zinonyandura, the Shona anthology, is that we met through a social media platform that was Facebook. Rabson Shumba came up with an idea of trying to preserve the Shona language and then opened a Facebook page that we contributed as poets and all aspiring poets. And then afterwards, we realized that to come up with something great, let's have a book in print. You see, that was the easier way of doing it because of the connectivity through social media and technology. Coming to how it should be done, it's done. It's difficult to make a breakthrough if a young person, in terms of publishing, if you go through the traditional publishing, through the publishers, they want to know your profile. Have you published something before? If not, then your work has to be exceptionally well, that they take it and then they publish it and also do marketing and distribution, which is much a challenge for people that would want to go through the second route that I'll explain now, which is the independent publishing. A lot of people now that are like authors are choosing the independent publishing, which is you have your work and you go to publishers, you give them and you pay them to publish a book. And then you get your copies, the number of copies that you can get with the amount that you would have paid them. And then you do your own marketing, you do your own distribution. So these are challenges that people face if they choose the independent publishing. It's faster and you also have to do it. But in terms of marketing and distribution, you need extra financial muscle, extra networks across the world or across the country that you need to have in order to have your work reach a lot of people. But on the same vein, technology has also tried to bridge that challenge through websites like Amazon and all those that sell books as e-books. You can just enlist your book there, and then the host website will get a royalty for their own money, and then you sell books. So technology has helped a lot to bridge or to help people that wouldn't have been published through the traditional publishing industry get published.
Mm-hmm. Can I just, Nombovunza Davison, right now, like my musical artists, especially Kuno, they're being put in these things called my 360 deals, where pretty much, you're given one, thing, and then you're supposed to follow. So they do marketing for you, they do your music publication, all that kind of stuff, which what they're saying is it binds my artist into like this really horrible deal. Is that a similar thing NEMA publishing companies now looking at the literature world? Are they kind of binding people into these 360 deals per se?
They do, which is what other authors have been crying for about. That you get into a publishing company, they're interested in your work, they see that there's potential, and then you sign a contract. You are not going to leave the contract regardless of how unhappy you are with the whole deal, or that there are no royalties coming, there's no money coming from the publisher, because usually they give you money, saying that they give you this money in advance and you have to use it. And when they are selling your work, and when I sell 1 million copies, they'll still give you a little money. And then if you have any problems, you can't get out of the contract until the time lapses or the period of a number of books that you signed a contract with lapses. So a lot of other authors are crying for. I met one a month ago who was taken to court after signing a deal, realizing that the deal was not binding and giving an advance payment, and then couldn't deliver because he didn't have problems with the contract. And then that's a difficult one because publishing houses are giants. They're like music companies. Because they're giants, they have big lawyers and everything, and they're just a poor author or a poor musician.
Thank you.
Okay, Noma Ungayikachana, we promised to bring you a poem by Ntando Dumani, say Kalanga poem, and we have that poem ready now. Let's take a listen.
Dumilan ndozisa pasi mbeli kwemakomba ebuhegwe bukalanga makomba lume nemhandala dzemitunu yechava chamambo mundi adzimezeve anditotukana ndahane ndevo yandipanda siku nesikati sedonda linomera pamagala kongo enola kuto likaluma ngalimwange pakati kwevanhu koila ndoisa ndevo inolizana nebhuzwa vanhutana vakakuvungana kuti wamilidza pesu ndiani pasina mwana angasundikwe kobhatisa foni mundilinge kumeho anditotukana ndolevelekane kwevunhu kwevukalanga ndolevelekane kululimi gwechikalanga ndolevelekane kwemilenje eludzi gwevukalanga handizotaula ngano handizokumbila kuti mutikolovedza vukalanga iludzi gwechava chakatuvugwa nenjere nevuchenjevu chikalanga lulimi gwakaibva kunozipilila senzwiyo egona lemakole chikalanga milenje yakanakilila inokudza vunhu nezvida neludo chikalanga izila yevuchilo gwenguvi yevanhu vanosvika zviuru goga ndikati chiponi chikalanga chenyu nhasi guponi vukalanga gwenyu nhasi mondidhira kuyendasi ndina kungu handitotukana ndavona muvamba gukuta ndikasizive kuti ndele chikalanga mabhaya chikalanga mukachivhiya nemipanga yakavhiya mbulu mabhaya chikalanga mukachikapaidza pamoto embenga honye machibhula mukachikovelana mundiro dzamanunga kuzvikumbu mabhaya chikalanga mukakovelana makunu nemabhakuli musikotamise mukolo mondigwadzisa handitotukana ndakawa mumbalumbo kubheleka mutibhatana nemavoko hechiyachedza chasvika muhalima apa makagara makamuri muhalima keni chakave chiviya chibva kayani chedza chenyu chedza makamubva lafika kwechava nevunhu gwevukalanga keni chedza makamubva mabhakuli anokovedza vukalanga gwenyu keni ndolevereka namwe mondilumisa ntumbu ndisadla ntakula mondikandule handitotukana wavatetegulu vekati gukuta lenhu halitovambiwa pasi nasi gukuta levunhu nevukalanga ndolivamba pekwemiholo michena yavo nsimbo navo ntombo nasi gukuta levukalanga ndolivamba pekwemapfudzi avo vankali navo vahundu mondisachinungulila ndisadla chinongwana ndoleveleka ndipedza handizotaula ngano mambula chikalanga mukachisiya chili mapunapuna sehonja linonda nsumbe moti vana valingeponi movalakidzani movadhiyani matatila chikalanga vana vesanu vamwe mangimwa nene matengesa chikalanga nemakumi matatu esiliva muntohla chakawila nkololokene hamuna foni lakapuza malala mupiza vukwene kulufu kosi muzvinuhidze haka muzviuzvi muzvivumbe sedenje lenyimo hamuna foni handitotukana ndapedza.
That's Ntando Dumani Kalanga poem, poet.
Yes.
Untando wetule ama ingwalo zakhe ezimbili kumaviki amabili amathathu edluleyo. Silaye uNtando Dumani simxhomese South Africa. Ntando siyakwamukela kuhlelo. Ngamafitshane akuchasisela abalaleli ukubana ingani inkondlo yakho.
Inkondlo leyi ngathi imayelana ngolimi langamasiko awekalanga izama ukuthi igqugquzele ukuthi aphakanyiswe njalo abantu abesikhalanga baziqhenye ngolimi lwabo njalo baluvuselele balusebenzise.
Siyabonga Ntando qhubeka ubambile, and of course that brings us to the very important subject of languages. You know, you have 13, 14 official languages, Kalanga, English, Shona, Nambiya, Tonga, Venda, Xhosa, Sesotho, Tswana. And would like to hear from, writers from those languages. But this wraps our show, our first half of the show. And we have to say good night to our radio listeners. But there is good news, Misty.
Of course, as usual, make sure you go over to the internet, voazimbabwe.com, voashona.com, and voandebele.com. We are streaming live, and to our guests, hold on the line. We will be right back. And welcome again for those of you who have been joining us, and for those of you just joining us, you are watching Live Talk The Connection, coming to you from Washington, D.C. And of course, we are talking about young Zimbabwean writers. We've had a wonderful Sampo Ntunga of our star-studded guest, and I think I want to start writing a couple of things once we're done with this show. I'll be downstairs writing some poems. I hope I'm good enough.
I have a couple of poems too that I haven't finished. I finished one, but it's still on my desktop. I'm here to polish it up, and I'll talk to my friend Devson Mzingo and see where we can put it.
Yeah, and maybe you can, read it to me. I don't know if it's a love poem or something. I'm not sure, but
We can talk after the show.
Oh, no, there's no problem. So let's come to you, Norma. Of course, prior to the break, Davison was talking about some of the challenges, that writers in Zimbabwe and, throughout Africa also are seeing. Talk about some of the challenges that you have seen as a writer and a poet, and also as a musician in Zimbabwe.
I think for me, the major challenge that I've faced is being a female and my age. I don't think people still have that whole female shouldn't be seen, and all those things. But for people to accept what I'm doing, it has taken longer than it would have been for my male counterparts. I know without a shadow of a doubt that people actually are receptive of female artists as a whole, but for me it's been a challenge because I'm quite young. When I started out, I was very young, and people are thinking, oh my gosh, this young girl, shame, hey, what is she trying to do with her life, and standing in front of people, and does she have what it takes? That has been the challenge for me. And when it comes to the literature side of things, my challenge has been, I think, distributing my work, because I went the independent route. So I did everything. I paid for it and got the number of books that I needed, and then distributing, it went okay for like the first 2 months, and afterwards I'm thinking, oh snap, I put myself, into a really deep grave. I don't know how to get out of it. It was a bit difficult because you're trying to perform at the same time you're trying to sell your work online and sell your work to people in bookshops and everything. It's been a bit difficult in that regard, but I think that the positive side of it is that you make a mistake, you pick yourself up, and then you actually learn. And as you are learning, the community and your audience and your fans are learning with you. So I can confidently say that even now when Lady Chawe is performing, there is a following. People actually accept her for being the young woman that she is. And it doesn't become so much of a problem, really. But the struggle is, like, you have parents who are afraid for you because you're a female, and the industry becomes like a dog-eat dog kind of world, and they're afraid that maybe someone is going to come and exploit this little girl, and they're probably going to abuse her, whether sexually, mentally, or even physically within the industry. So there are those fears that are there that we don't generally talk about, but they do exist.
And Ntando, you are writing in your native Kalanga language. What are some of the challenges that you are facing as a writer, in that front?
Okay, thank you. The challenges that I'm facing are really diverse, and, their impact varies, on various degrees. But I would say the first a challenge that is probably the most impactful is the fact that the Kalanga language has never been documented before, and there isn't much reference material, and there isn't much, literature or material that's been written before which you can refer to. And at times it's very difficult when people ask you where you're getting what you're writing, because you always find that people expect you to to write according to a certain expert or according to someone who has written before. And in our case, in the Kalanga language, no one has done that. And it becomes difficult for people like to give you the credit that you actually, doing that and to accept that you can actually be a pioneer. And I think it also comes with my age, because people will be saying, look, you're very young and the kind of Kalanga that you're writing here, how do we know that, it's the correct Kalanga? And have you, some people even come to you and ask you, like, have you consulted so-and-so who is an authority in Chikalanga, or have you consulted so-and-so who is an expert in Chikalanga? But the biggest challenge is that how do I accept that someone is an expert when they have never published anything in that language? So that's one of the challenges that you will then face. And I think that also then leads also to another challenge or maybe is a result of a challenge that the standardization of the language is still, a bit shaky, because you find, for example, the orthography that you use, some people really don't understand that, and they don't accept that because they learned a different orthography of Chikalanga or a certain kind of dialect. Like Chikalanga is a language and it's got various dialects. So you then face challenges on all those fronts to say, how then do we standardize the language that we are trying to revive and the language that we are writing in? And at the same time, how do we get the work that we're doing accepted as genuine and authoritative, regardless of our age and regardless of the fact that currently we are like the pioneers and there are no other people that have written in that language before. So that's also another challenge. And I also like to add in the challenge of like the publishers. You find that there are very few publishers that are keen on taking up like the work that you have done in Chikalanga, because the assumption is that not very many people would be interested in reading that because they never learned how to read it. They could be able to speak it, orally, but would not be able to read the literary work that has been written because they have never learned it at school before. It's a very new thing. It's a new language that's just emerging from the doldrums of marginalization. So that becomes a challenge because some publishers will tell you that it's not viable to publish your work, which is why even the books that I have published so far and those that I'll probably be publishing in the next 2 or so months, I go the self-publishing route because no one else, most publishers are not keen on taking onto that work.
Briefly, Ntando, what was the name of book I published 2-3 weeks ago? No lebane kwao. Ano yani kakale ano tengwa bano abala bano.
Publisher matatu. Lekutanga loyi makungulupeswa nechenesiwa kwao. Linoveli na makungulupeswa 572 echikalanga kose nechenesiwa kwao kuti anolevani chini. Lakabhasaiwo watingati imongo wendewo yechikalanga kakale neluzivo nekuchenje bugosi gwevakalanga gwemakole nemakole kube kumika kuti lekuvili loyi yalila hwehu lokendele netembo lina netembo zili 26 ene dzakasiyana-siyana dzinobata zvinhu zvakasiyana-siyana zvevutilo, milenge, zvevupfumi nekumwe kwose kwakasiyana-siyana kwevutilo gwevakalanga nekwevutilo gwevanhu vezimbabwe nekwevutilo gwedu tilipo mukango tichina kuve kuti levutatu loyi mihodzi yevumwa hoyo ke unzano weyedzelela kwatinoti dhama nechikuwa yechikalanga kakale inove ihisa kumbe idusa zila yevutilo gwevakalanga mipanga nemilenge yavo kunda chose kupiziwa kwevukwe kutolana kwevanhu kunda chose kujalo. So ndiwo mabhuku matatu andakapublisha ukate kutengiwa kwangwenwadi ndingati anotengiwa sedza inondichenamisa wakakumbire kuti vakalanga ngave venadudzo dzokuti vengatsenga nsingo chikalanga kana ndakadingiri navo kuti koi havatoziva chivala kodake nevhila yavanotenga nawo namivo vokondikanisa kwazvo kotiedza kuti ndive nesimba lekuti ndindile mberi kakani ndisusumevo vamwe vangave venaludo gwekwala chene vengave vachikwala koga vesambapablisha kuti hai ngava ndile mberi vapablishe kuti vakalanga vanohaka kuti vavale hwando dzakalingisana naidzodzo kakale takadinga kuti ngwenu ali muzvikwele kubvisira kugrade 1 kunoti kuyunivhesiti chikalanga choedhiwa koga-ke hwalo dzechidza vanodhiyiwa mudhili ichocho chikalanga hadzipepo dzotayela ndizo-ke ndakadingirira kuti even idzedzi dzandapablisha naidzovo dzonginawo muno zvikwele zikanginawo makoleji zikahingisiwa nekuti ama makoleji achilaigila kale kuti ana ludo gwekuti tibevefa nekuti angadziwana chini.
Toboka Ntando, thank you so much. And Misty, let's go to Diva.
Davison, I think you're on the line.
Very much.
Okay, Tipe, just another one of your poems from the A-level set book, Yechishona.
Oh, no problem. Aiwa, mapoema acho akawanda zvere.
Wambotaura akuti.
Musarudze fupi yacho bamdzingo.
Apa maze ndida kusarudza kuti sezvo nhasi tichipara madingindira ezvinhu zviri kuitika munyika. Ndinonyorawo mapopa netembo yerudo but nhasi apa da kubara nezviri kuitika munyika iko zvinezvi ndambokuita iya yemvura kushaka kwemvura iko zvinezvi da kuita kunetsa kwemagetsi mukati menyika iri mubhuku irori rinonzi dzinonyandura
semurai mdara
netembo inonzi hatichamadi ziso nechiutsi zvakanga zvakaganhurirana muganhu iye zvino zvava bhande nebhurukwa kuwirirana rima chava chiedza kuno murima meso anoona chokuti pano kuona senge rakacheka nyika maoko edu oziva pose patenge pane zvatinoda takatanga tichitsvanzvadzira iye zvino ruoko kungosvika ruchimhimhidza kuti urwu rwerudyi runoziva pasingaoni meso koti chinokoro ruboshe runononga kunonga pfungwa dzisati dzafunga kunonga ziso risati rabwaira kwenyu ikoko munozvigona chirudzii tinongonzwa nemanzwiko akwanzi kuti munawo ikoko vanotaura vachiti kwenyu ikoko haaendi vachiti zveikoko chinonzi rima hamuchizivi vagoti zveikoko anogara akapaka chero masikati zvino hakusi kujaidzwa ikoko semwana wegotwe iyo tsvanzva yokwedu kuno mungaigona kuno rima tava kurifarira chokuti pano mvura inotonhora haichatimeresi chizarume iyi chimukuyu nedakataka repamoto handi kunaka ikoko hongu nyama toita zvekufusha kuno asi kwenyu ikoko kwanzi inogara yakagwamba iyo miumba chando yedu takadzima kare takasara todzima yatofa kare yaurawa naiyo gai dzisha hongu yakatanga ichiri ngai dzisha iye zvino yangova dzisha refu zvokuti panoti ngai tinovhunduka kuti pamwe ishura rorufu ruchavinga mhuri takadekara igaroziva kuti wajaidza chimbwanana kububunya mazai inopedza chirugu chose chikiti hachiravidzwi zifa ukadaro usazoshamisika wawana musoro uri muhodzeko chichinanzva munamba waiwo magada esusuro fushai magetsi enyu ikoko isu hatichamadi angazotiremadza sembwanana yaziva mondo kana sechikiti chaziva panogara gate rezifa rababa ndatenda.
Maruva mudhara pamataura nenyaya yechemukoyo mandifungisa chemukoyo changu chandakapuwa nasekuru musi waya saka ndichachiona chemukoyo ndichachiona
kana taenda anotoihwandisa futi saka handiziva kuti ichiripo here
bhozi munondipedzeraka vanenge vachida kungodya havadi kutenga chemukoyo chacho naidiva and we have Njabulo Moyo back.
Yes, I think he's back on the line.
Yeah, go with him.
Njabulo, are you back on the line?
Yes.
Welcome back. Good to have you back, of course. And we've been asking, our other guests to give us some poems or some of their works. If you can do the same, if that's possible, maybe you can give us one of your poems.
Okay, just hold on. One is called African Sketches.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's called African Sketches.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I see, I visualize, I feel, I touch, I read. There's romance, there's echoes of young voices. I hear is the sound of life. Hard hands. I see African sketches in my mind, sketches of beautiful people, happy, welcoming, hardworking, humble, honest, modest, active. You see African sketches, sketches of a random continent with joy and jubilation, cultural diversity, African sketches, sketches of boys and girls in stitches, sketches of girls all in stitches. I see, I read, I feel, I touch, sketches of a continent, African sketches.
That's beautiful. Njabulo, do you have a published a book or collection of your poems?
Yes, I actually have published 2 poetry collections and also a prose content, which is purely motivation. So I've got 4 books that have been published right now.
Oh, that's great. Size kuwe noma umbiko ophuma book fair eHarare bakhona nabalobi bathi iculture yokubala umkhuba wokubala eZimbabwe kawukho. Yabo uvumelana lalokho?
Yeah, ngathi ngavumelana ngalokho sibili because i-generation yamanje abantu vela bafuna ukubala. It's a technology kind of generation where they would rather get everything online. So ukuthi umuntu umnike ibhuku, like a real book to flip the pages, it's not something that people run to do and are excited to do, which is quite sad because I believe in having a book, smelling the pages and, flipping through it. It excites me, but a lot of people right now,
I'd have to agree there, Ntunga, because that's something nostalgic about having having it in your hand and you can flip your page, fold your page, come back to it another time. I love my smartphone, but I don't think I get the same feeling from growing up.
But then this is crazy. If we are one of the most literate countries in Africa, perhaps the leading country in terms of literacy, and yet we don't read. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's also. Oh, go ahead, Norma.
I'm saying it doesn't make sense at all because we are very literate. There's no doubt about it. But you want someone to read a book, make sure it's in an e-book format. Give them an actual hard copy. It's probably going to take them about 2 months or so to finish it. But if it's an e-book format, they'll probably finish it within a week or something crazy like that, which is okay because the person has read. But have you actually sat down to understand what you're reading? Because if you're reading fiction or prose or whatever it is, you actually need to sit down, have a cup of tea. Well, I have a cup of tea on the side, and I read and I actually highlight and underline phrases or quotes that actually struck me as quite important in that chapter. But now people don't seem to care much about that. I mean, we even go to some private schools that actually give tablets to all their students. And I won't be surprised if very soon when they're writing the A-level and O-level exams that they're going to be doing it online rather than actually sitting down on a desk and writing.
Ntando size kuwe akusitshayele phela enye yenkondlo zakho ngamafitshane nxa uzilungiselele.
Yeah, kakhulu. Ndo yeta uyibeluzo. Hello?
Ndilambeli Ntando.
Inoti wahagwa nemoyo wangu. Apa matongo umbona kene. Wahagwa nemoyo wangu. Unamekoma tena senkanga za kobo kwa nenlongo. Gandalo zenengela sevula emabilila. Unkwabile nsanja wakwaka ibisa. Ekamwemwetela mekobuchena nkaka we molombe. Mbilimbako inongole sabasi. Upenyele na senyonje enlala anga. Zipoya ngawulebe koba kuyinto etukana. Ndiye wahagwa nemoyo wangu. Unothamba kukabilila vula mwazangu. Gumbolile pathamba lophigama ndikaphuta mavu. Unopala amapaba babhana beka umpevulane ngulube. Unopinda makunche kasale etebele lemeko. Kangwa zabe velo ndankwala wemala. Unomongwetela bophembo ezasala zimisa kutugadzike nezinalile mwana webani. Jinyolile kulimbako wakabakwambaki akabigamo. Ntukunyazi kusipo kene kumilie makunga. Apa matongo umbona kene. Wilile lozipilile londiteke zebesele pikinjiba. Ndikaliwa kocheka mutumbo abakwane ntungana. Vula yangu lisa ndingangwa zwangu ndikasizene miki. Pathamba ndologane anaiwila muntu ndinga zisiya. Ndiye wahagwa nemoyo wangu. Apa matongo umbona ke. Ekasupatila njere mana ensenya ndo izisa. Pasika moyo wangu khalavuka. Unyala disinchengedzwe njala kangwa zangu. Nkasa ndisiyenzwe make matombo. Bande changu chentembasi chanda zvibonela. Khadzale khogwana dzandawongegwa namezwane. Nemgeludzi yazvagwa ina lutoba. Ndikaunkuba ndofuka debwe lilimpani. Ndiye wahagwa nemoyo wangu. Apa kulidla bukulya ndidlise kwebubili. Apa kulimwiso echibululu ndingadana tenela. Tikazvivhimeka samubusebo gwangu ndikakhula. Makuwa meho wangu katola kose nemoyo wangu. Monga yangu yandavigabwe. Yandinolingila siku nesikati. Venganditsila iyo ndikakaya chandayeta. Neke nekango isinadula heko ndobuwa. Neke nenkadzi alidanda unokohodza kobva usondeka nzona ndale. Ndisitume nese ndinogwa. Kana ndiye chikunda moyo changu. Ndiye wandahata iwoyo.
Siyabonga Ntando. Lwazi lwami nandulimi ukhuluma ngentombi yakhe lapho Ntando uthi like lambona na okhethwe yimi. Lwazi lwami nandulimi. Ntando ke lo imbongi eloba ngolimi lwesikhalanga.
That sounded very nice.
Indeed. And Diva, of course, you also write in English. Go ahead and give us one of your poems in brief.
Yeah, for the interest of time, I'll get you the shortest one. It's called Flowers. I think I'll go opposite now that my friends have been speaking about love. I'll go opposite.
You are saying flowers. When you talk of flowers, I'm thinking of love. What's that about if you are going to go the opposite way?
You find the answer in a moment.
Okay, let's get to it.
The women humming sweet, haunting hymns. Some in a tender Makaba gait, only seen on such an occasion. Walking as if stroking the ground they are to inter one of their own. She cuts a lone figure. She takes her time. She heaves and bends forward. She stands again, still, with a hand in her bra. She came out with a discolored wallet, counts a few coins, and hands them over to the seller. Painfully, she chooses the color. It took her time. Suddenly, she whittled away with a yellow bouquet. Is the last one for love, the flowers of death. Thank you.
That's so sweet.
And very deep, of course.
And very deep.
The surprising one.
Yes, you don't expect indeed. That. I wasn't.
Wow.
But thank you, Diva. Just hold on line. And, of course, we're running out of time. So Njabulo will come to you very quickly and just talk about, the future, of course, of literature in Zimbabwe. For the four of you, on the line today, you are holding Zimbabwean literature in your hands and your fingertips. And Njabulo, talk about the future and what it means for you as a young writer and author in Zimbabwe.
I believe that we are a generation that has got a difference. We are fortunate enough that we are living in the ICT generation where we are having these various alternatives in terms of getting the work out there, in terms of publishing, in terms of also self-marketing, self-branding. So I see a brighter future within the literature industry, although there is a need to inculcate and cultivate a culture of reading. So as a solution, I believe it's also about how we package our works. I mean, there is audio books. There are other platforms of packaging our works through CDs, through USBs, through phone what do you call them? Software that you can use to access via a cell phone, which is more like the most favorite tool that everyone is using. So I see a brighter future for the literature industry. And also, I love the fact that other languages like Kalanga, people are coming up. They are now writing and bringing forth Kalanga as a language. So I believe it's also going to challenge other people who write in different languages to come on board to get the word out there. Because I believe that if you're a writer, you write.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Njabule is talking about the issue of different languages. And I would like to emphasize once again that, we really try to get authors who write in different languages. Tonga, we had one guy, but, his phone wasn't going through.
Yes.
And we looked for a Sotho, author and many other languages, but we could not find them. But that doesn't mean there's no people who are writing in those languages.
They are definitely out
there. They are there. And if, they are listening, please reach out to us. And, we will highlight your works here at Studio 7.
Definitely. And Noma, will come to you just before we end our program. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I had read that, of course, as a musician, you do mix in a lot of different languages. Are you able just to give us a quick snippet of something that brings in all these different languages that we hear in Zimbabwe?
Well, it's on the spot, really. I'll try to sing something in French, something really, really short.
Go ahead.
Je suis ne change pas, je suis ne change pas, il est le même, alléluia. Jésus ne change pas, Jésus ne change pas, il est le même, alléluia. Thank you.
And that must be a church song, right? The head, hallelujah.
Yes. And our producer Yelam, who loves French, she's smiling. I can see her now. She enjoyed it.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Diva, let's have your last word in brief, my man.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to encourage everyone to support all the authors by buying their stuff, by buying the books, and also reading. It's important to have a culture of reading, especially in our indigenous languages. We need to promote them in Africa. We need to be proud of our languages and cultivate that culture of reading.
Thank you.
Dumani, 30 seconds, your last word.
I will just say that as young people are banning, and I was even thinking of a collaboration amongst all the authors that are here in their different languages to come up with one master bank.
I think sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Published by Studio 7.
Of course. And that brings us to the end of our show. Thanks to the listeners and of course, our guests, Debson Mzingwa, author and journalist, Noma Lady Chawe Damasane, writer, poet, and musician, Jabulo Moyo, author, poet, and everything, as well as Ntando Dumani, a poet. He writes in Kalanga. That's it from us, crew. My name is Tungamiri Nkomo.
And I'm Tatenda Gumbo. And as usual, we want you guys to join us again next Tuesday on The Connection, your youth show. Have a wonderful weekend, a good night. We'll see you next week.